Hello, everyone. This is Dawn. I'm coming to you from downtown Pittsburgh. This podcast is the point where we talk everything wedding planning. And today I have a special guest. She's a well known makeup artist in the Pittsburgh and surrounding area. And she is going to help us define what you should look for when you're hiring a makeup artist and what should be red flags for you. And today I want to welcome Shelby Lee from Shear Metal Beauty. And
Okay.
Shelby, welcome to the show. Say hello to Pittsburgh Brides.
Pittsburgh Brides. I'm really happy to be here.
You've been a part of the community for a long time.
Yeah, like almost 15 years now.
Yeah. And then part of our community, our group, almost
Yeah, I
since the
think since the
beginning.
beginning.
Yeah. Back when we had 11 women.
Yeah,
You were probably one of the 11 women when Krista Lee.
right.
So I'm going to get right into it because this is a hot topic right now. And I know you know that. My first question for you is to define the difference between a cosmetologist and an esthetician and what that means in the state of Pennsylvania. Do they have to be licensed? Do they not? First, define the cosmetologist and the esthetician to me.
So cosmetology sits like across the board. So you're looking at, you have a licensing to do hair, skin, and nails. More prominently, your license covers any kind of chemical service for anything across the board. And then if you only have an esthetician's license, or even going further, like if you only have like the nail tech license, then you're only covered to do, I believe esthetician is anything facial to the shoulders.
Okay.
And then if you're a nail tech, same thing, like down to the elbow. Cosmetologist, I think we're literally anything up and then anything to the elbow.
And there's hours and hours of training and all of that.
Yeah. I want to say when I went to school, I'm sure they've changed. I think we were 1,400 hours for cosmetology. And then estheticians, I think like 600 or 800 hours. But I could be wrong.
And you have to get a license from the state of Pennsylvania to do business in Pennsylvania in these categories, correct?
Yes.
And the fees on those licenses, they're not much, are they?
Uh,
Once you
we
go through
are
school?
we are current to go to school. It's about when I went, and this again, 15 years ago. Um, when I went, we were 20,000. So I'm sure with inflation, you're probably closer to 40 or so at this point. Um,
Okay.
and then you renew every 2 years, and it is 96 for a cosmetology license.
$96
Yes.
to renew the license. And I know that there's some criteria there, like you can't have any felonies or DWIs or anything like that, correct?
I honestly don't know. I don't have anything like that, so I don't know where that line is drawn.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And I'm sorry I popped that question on you. You probably didn't expect it, but I made a phone call to the state myself and they did tell me that if someone has anything in the record, it may cause them to not be able to get a license. So when a couple is looking to book someone, where should they go to verify? There's so many makeup artists, right? Like
Yes,
somebody asks for a makeup artist in the group and it's actually just saturated with
it
replies.
really is.
How does a couple make a wise decision when they're trying to narrow the field down from everyone? It's not just about who you vibe with or anything, but you want that criteria. You want them to be licensed. You want them to be experienced. What would your advice be to them?
If you are looking, you can go, I don't know what the exact state website is, but if you go into Google and you type like Pennsylvania cosmetology license, look up, it will open up the state board website. If you ask your makeup artist, hairstylist, whatever, and you tell them like, hey, I just want to verify your license, they can either shoot you a picture of their license, which should be on hand at some point, or you can just ask for their first and last name, type it into the system, and it should come up. It'll tell you if it's in good standings. It'll tell you if they've had any violations. It'll tell you if it expired, if it's been revoked. All of that stuff is covered on the state board website.
And it's really easy to do because I've
Yeah.
used it just recently. And the website is PALS, PALS .pa.gov. Really easy. Like you said, you can literally just have someone's name and type it in, first and last name, and it should pull up and identify if they're licensed. So a licensed cosmetologist can perform both hair and makeup for a wedding. The brides do not need individual services, although I know some just do makeup and some just do
Yeah.
hair. Licensed cosmetologist technically is licensed to do both, correct? And an esthetician is makeup only,
They're
correct?
skin only. So they can, I mean, like, Not that I'm out here offering any of that stuff, but anything skin based they can do.
Okay. All right. And there's all these, when you're in school, I know that you learn all these things to protect from infectious diseases,
Yes.
transfers, things like that. Can you talk a little bit about that and the importance of having someone who's licensed?
Yeah, somebody who's licensed should know that, all disposables are just that. It's disposable. If you see somebody, for example, they're doing your makeup, they pick up a sponge that's dirty, that shouldn't be going on your face. If you look at their brush kit and the brush kit is dusty and you can tell that all the brushes have been used, like it it's not sanitary. And anyone who's gone to school will know it doesn't take long for bacteria to grow in those things. If they use eye pencils, lip pencils, anything like that, they should be sprayed with alcohol and resharpened to get rid of that. But yeah, it's just like there's a lot of things when you start like going into hair and things like that, to look for certain things on the scalp so you're not, doing someone's hair that God forbid has ringworm or lice or anything like that, that you could then transfer to an entire bridal party.
Right, right. Okay, good information. And then I know that you do a lot of weddings because I see you booking those brides. So tell me a little bit about like you're booking an entire bridal party, and I'm just going to give an example. Maybe it's $200 per person and there's 7 of them and it's $1,400. What's a typical deposit or like the standard? Are makeup artists, and cosmetologists asking for 50% down? Are they asking 50% for the entire bridal party? Do you do a trial prior to make sure that they're happy and then collect a bigger deposit? Talk to me a little bit about that. What do you see in the industry?
I see mostly people will do 50% down as their deposits. It's pretty standard at this point. Some do 25. As far as like a payment schedule, some people take it monthly. I take the rest of the payment day of. It's easier for me personally, but I know a few people, especially if they have multiple artists, it's really common to see like you have to pay that balance 2 weeks ahead of time. Also, a common thing is if you signed up for 10 people and you end up with six, you're still paying for those 10 people because you've now set aside time and artists for 10 people. What was the rest of your question?
Well, I just wanted to get a ballpark of what brides and grooms and soon weds can expect for a deposit, when that deposit is due, and then I know that you do a trial at some point, and how does that work itself in? I mean, the point of the trial is the point of the trial to decide if you mesh with each other, if you like the makeup, or is it just a canvas and let's get this done before the wedding? Like, what is the purpose of the trial?
So I know that in recent years, and I find this to be like the most common thought about the trial now. I know a lot of people don't even call them trials anymore. They call them previews. Is not to, as they say, test your artists. They are to make sure that, you have the hair that you need, if you need to buy extensions, if you need to look into something like dermaplaning, Botox, facials, anything like that that needs to be looked into. All of that stuff is discussed at your trial. Most of us, I know I do, require a contract pre-trial unless you are booking, I think I normally say more than a year or two in advance. Because if you're like, oh yeah, I want to schedule a trial 6 months down the road, my wedding's 8 months down the road, but I'm not signing a contract, and for whatever reason you guys don't work out at said trial, then we have a date open that we can't fill. And that's
Makes
not
sense.
fair to us.
No, it makes sense. It's good business. And so typically, when do you do your trials for your brides?
I normally tell my brides as long as you've secured your dress, you've decided if you're wearing a veil, you have your venue. At that point, like I don't really have a set time that like this is the time you should do it. Like as long as you feel like you have your ducks in a row and you have your vision concreted, let's give it a go.
And do you go to them to do the trial? Do they come to you? How do you make that work?
I have a small studio and they come to me for trials. It's the easiest that I've found. I'm even able to like it's not a substantial discount, but it's slightly less than you pay day of to get your trial done. I have gone on location for trials, especially if it's rare, but sometimes like half the bridal party wants a trial. And so I'll travel for that. But for the most part, no, I keep them, pretty chill and small.
Gotcha, gotcha. I asked those questions of you because we have a podcast that's going to drop soon, and I'm going to put the link up here. I had a bride, one of our local brides, that just had a complete nightmare with a local makeup artist company, and she had paid 50% in advance, $1,500 for herself and 9 other members. And then her wedding was April 2025, and in January, she started to reach out and say, "Hey, can we do the trial?" And no response. And then she emailed a week later. She's being polite, no response. She emailed a week later, no response. Then she starts going to Instagram and she sees they're online on Instagram and she's trying to reach out to them and no response. And this person has $1,500 worth of their money. And she's like, are they dead? Are they in a ditch? Are they in state? What's going on? And she's now starting to panic because it's February and her wedding is, I believe it was April 26th of 2025. And she is just devastated
Yeah.
by this and what's going on. And it got down to where they did connect. They made a schedule for a trial during her bridal shower. The worst part here is she lived out of town. She lived in Virginia. So she was driving in for her bridal shower and was supposed to do the trial, got an email last minute that it couldn't be done, and then rescheduled for exactly 30 days out from her wedding. It was just under 30 days.
God.
30 days and rescheduled, drives in from Virginia, no show, complete no show from the makeup artist. And I've had, unfortunately, quite a few complaints, several on the same makeup artist. And it's disheartening. And I've heard of others, but this one in particular, I don't know how to get through to the brides and say, "Hey, you need to vet your vendors. You need to protect yourself. You need to protect your bankroll. You need to not just take things at face value." You know, a lot of pretty badges on a website, they can all be falsified. That doesn't mean anything. Like, I know you've heard some of this through the grapevine.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Think that a lot of people get into this industry thinking that we work 1 or 2 days a week and like this is a cushy, easy job for all of us and it's fun. And I'm not saying it's not fun. I love my job more than anything. But I think people don't understand the amount of pressure we're constantly under. And unfortunately, some people buckle under that pressure or they just compartmentalize it and they kind of ignore the problem. And I think you can also get really competitive in this industry and you try to book as many weddings as possible without thinking how you personally are going to handle it. Or if you have a team, like if you're booking all these weddings and you're not taking the admin side of this and making sure that everybody is available and booked in, like if you book through like a massive company that's like a team, you should know who your artist is pretty quickly. You should be able to have direct contact with that artist. You should be able to speak to them. Like it shouldn't always have to be a third party communication. So I think those are all really good things to look at. I also tell people, and like this might just be me, if all of their pictures, I don't know how to put, if every one of their pictures look like a model, like a professional model, like, start
Red
looking for
flag.
somebody who has, a wider range of how everybody looks. You don't wanna just find somebody that's, like, out here, like, bumping out Instagram models, and it's not really varying, and you can kinda see that they're all kinda from the same time of year or whatever the case is. Like, if you're looking for an artist that's going to take care of you day of, then you need to find somebody who's actively working, actively, if you're gonna go social media based, like, actively posting, actively with these venues, and it's the same artist left, right, and center. You can look in their tags. Like, there's tons of ways to vet a negative artist. You can also, if you've reached out to an artist and they've said, you know what, I'm so sorry, like I'm already booked for that day, they can give you recommendations. Like, I know if somebody messages me, like Crystal Lee, I have like 4 or 5 other people that I can, recommend through the grapevine.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a lot of ways at this point to vet outside of just making sure they're licensed in the state. It's just I don't know. I always say like if it's too pretty, there's normally some
Yeah.
stuff underneath that's probably not.
Right. And in this case scenario with this bride that this from this interview that we did, the makeup artist was quick to respond when she initially engaged with her. "I like you. I want to book you." Quick to
Mhm.
respond, quick to answer, quick to email, everything. As soon as she got the money, then it was like she was in the wind.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing to be really aware of. First of all, how you pay. Now, I know
Yes.
everybody loves Venmo and Cash Apps, but you really only have recourse with a credit card in the event that somebody doesn't come through and follow through with services. So that would be something I would say that, if they're pushing for you to pay them by Venmo or PayPal or something that you don't have and they're really pushing for that money, that might be a flag for me as well. Like, hurry up and book me because there's other people that want us, that sort of thing. There's urgency on their side. Like, I mean, I think good vendors want you to make a wise decision and they're not going to call you to the carpet like on that.
Yeah, no,
Agree?
I agree with that. There is a feature now on Venmo that you can pay. I would say if I was paying a deposit, something that is a little, let's say, riskier. If I was paying through Venmo, I would do it through. They have like a PayPal did, like the goods and services,
Okay.
and then that way you can file for a refund, and it's not hard to do at all.
Okay. I was unaware of that. So thank you. I've learned something new from you today. That's very helpful. And I would also say, you're right about the Instagram and everything being picture perfect because not every bride fits a Barbie mold,
Yeah,
right? We have brides of all sizes, all shapes, all, styles. We've got girls that with all tattoos and black hair and, then we have our plus size brides and, of all skin colors as well. Like, and they all have different, um, wishes for their makeup. People from an Indian culture are going to be a little bit different than, what you might see from Irish Catholic, right? And what they need for their makeup. They have a very different vibe and different look. And I would be looking for that as well
yeah,
when you're on
definitely.
a
If you're looking
website.
for like a very specific style, like you can. I don't remember what website. It might be the Knot. You're able to now like search down in the comments. Like if you go to the reviews, you can like search keywords and like they can
Mhm.
pop up for you in that way. So if you're looking for like a really natural look, I'm sure you can pop down in their reviews and just put natural and it'll pop up if they're in reviews. But yeah, like go to their Instagram. There should be, as I said, you can look at the pictures they post. You can also look at their tagged photos, which could be from photographers, vendors, brides, etc. So you'll be able to see like a different light of those images as well.
Agreed. Another thing that I say is that if you're ready to move forward with someone and you want to book them, ask them for the emails of the last 3 clients that they did right now this year, not last year, because at least they're current. At least because a lot of people, and like you said, wait, you mentioned that earlier, a lot of people, maybe they have another job, they're doing something else, they're multitasking, and they think they can just do makeup on the weekends. And maybe they have a baby, maybe they get married. There's things that happen that overwhelm them, and all of a sudden they're not as available as they were when they booked you. And I think it's really important to get those really current raw reviews from couples that were happy with their services, not just people on a thread commenting because you don't know where that comes from. It's the internet, right? We have to be
Yeah,
careful.
I agree with that, but I could see how that would be difficult for like privacy purposes. I definitely have some brides that would 100%, talk to another bride for me, but like it's things like if we go through the Knot, that email's private. Like I don't know what their email is. I can't give you their contact information. But no, I do think it's not like the worst idea. Or if you see somebody in such as like Pittsburgh brides and they're like, "Hey, like I really want to I like this artist." You can always private message them and be like, "Hey, what did you like about them?" Ask them like more specific comment, like more specific questions that maybe you're not comfortable asking in a thread or you don't want to like obviously like claim up your own thread.
Right. And it's okay to interview a couple different ones. Don't get yourself sold on one,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Options, because I think one of the most important things about your wedding day is making sure that you vibe with whomever you're hiring for that day. That's fundamentally one of the best things that you can do. And don't be afraid to get on a Zoom call like we are today, right?
Yeah.
And talk to them face to face. I think you get so much more information from somebody when you're talking to them face to face as opposed to just booking them, with our thumbs.
No, absolutely. I just had a bride that was like, "Hey, I don't think I really need a trial, but I pass through, where you live once a week and like, hey, can we just like get coffee to make sure like we get along?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah. Yeah. It's important for you as well
Yeah.
because you can get a vibe for them, for their style and everything and plan ahead. Okay. Thank you for that. I think we have shed a little bit of light on the vetting of your vendors. And sadly, one bad actor can really hurt the entire industry. And I am glad that you're here to step up and step forward and say, this is not the norm. And we really want
Absolutely.
your business. And what's sad is that there are people that want to earn your business and want
Yeah.
to earn and make you look beautiful for your day without the headaches. And thank you for coming forward and talking a little bit about that with me. I think it's a value for our brides. And with that being said, I'm going to sign off. This is Dawn coming to you from downtown Pittsburgh. Thank you for tuning in today. Shelby, thank you for being with us. I enjoyed the insights and perspective on your industry. I wish you a prosperous 2025, 26, 27, and I'm already hearing we're booking 28.
Yes.
My goodness.
I know.
Everyone, thank you so much for being a part of the community. We appreciate you. Be safe. Talk to you soon. Bye.